Here's the thing with the new bow. So, you know how this is like without any buffs, without any perks, without any damage perks, the highest damage bow slash primary in the game, right? The thing about bows like these, where you see the string is not attached to any other like tension device, this is a recurve bow, not a compound bow. For example, you look at this is a compound bow, right? It has a tension device. I don't know exactly what it's called, but they made precisions deal the highest damage because this is like a compound bow. Like, it's supposed to be stronger, it's supposed to hit harder. But these don't quite make any sense. They just copied the lightweight frame, and they used it like for a higher damage archetype. Here's the problem with that. You know Wishender? Everyone knows Wishender. If you try to use it, it sucks. It feels terrible, and you don't know why. You never understand why Wishender is so slow, so sluggish, and even when you shoot it, sometimes it doesn't even hit, sometimes the damage doesn't register properly, and it's not just because of the over-penetrating broadhead or whatever. The trick is like something else. And try to put a lightweight on, actually. Try using an actual lightweight frame. For those who don't know, lightweight frames deal less damage. They deal the lowest damage out of all the bows. And they look like this. They look like a recurve, a straight string. Also, I need to preface this. When I say lightweight, I don't mean the lightweight benefits that gives mobility. I'm actually referring to lightweight bows and the way they feel. If any of you are bow players and have played with lightweight bows and precision frame bows, you would probably be able to tell the difference, but it is for certain, it's in their code, that lightweight bows were coded to feel different. To feel weaker, basically. So when I say lightweight, I mean that it feels like a lightweight bow and it feels just as weak or feeble like a lightweight bow. It's the way it was coded. The animation is different, the sound is different, everything. Not only the animation is more linear, like it feels less powerful to use overall. When you draw it, when you use it, and when you do anything with it, it just feels weaker. It's supposed to be the fastest, but it's barely any different from Precision's. The difference is like 60 milliseconds of TTK. That's 0.06 difference. The only good lightweight bow in the game is this one because it allows you to deal enough damage to overshields and rifts in order to let you 2-crit them, kill them so you don't die because they have more HP than you. Otherwise, lightweights are very bad, but that's not the only issue with lightweights. Lightweights feel horrible. It feels like the arrow has travel time or is just not hit scan or has some sort of issue with it where if you try to use it, if you try to hit anyone that's moving too fast, the damage won't register properly. After using lightweights in general, like for an extended period of time, I've come to the conclusion that Wishender feels exactly like the lightweights. It is a recurve bow. It's likely copy and pasted, like the code of the bow, the code of how they coded lightweights, as opposed to Precision's, has been copied and pasted over to Wishender. It's extremely difficult to test. We tried testing it like 2 years ago. We somewhat discovered that lightweight bows just traveled slower. Lightweight bow arrows. Harm, a developer from D2 Foundry, helped us test projectile velocity on bows. She had a method of doing that, but I forgot like how it worked exactly, and honestly, it hasn't really shed a light on why lightweight bows suck to use so much. So I'm not entirely sure if it's just projectile velocity anyway. But that turned out to be true, so they buffed them. They buffed lightweight bows, like the arrow travel speed, they buffed it. But that didn't solve the issue that lightweights have, which is the hit reg. The hit registration is still suffering. I don't know if it's still travel time. I don't know if there's something in particular with lightweights that just fall behind Precisions in terms of feel so harshly that their only issue isn't just that they have lower damage and barely any difference in draw time, but they also register terribly. They don't feel good to use, they don't feel reliable. I'm not entirely sure what Bungie did separately to lightweights as opposed to Precisions. This has always been an issue. It is not something that just happened. It's always been an issue. It's always been like a subject that I discuss with my friends and other bow users. And it's really difficult to like even make out for new bow players. Most people will not really notice it on controller, for example, because naturally on controller, people move like less fast, I suppose. So it's easier to just hit people that have controller movement, essentially. And I understand that it's really hard to care about this, like bows, right? Lightweight bows, who cares, right? But then they introduced this like new archetype, Mercury-A, and Mercury-A is supposed to be extremely similar to Wishender. It looks the same. It's a recurve bow. It should be copy-pasted from like a different bow frame. But what's interesting is that this one feels a little better. I'm not sure if it's like... I haven't used this for too long of a time to be able to say exactly if it suffers from the same issues that lightweight bows suffer from and Wishender suffers from. I do like how it feels, especially hipfire. Hipfire is decent. Like, the draw speed doesn't really bother me that much if I try and be smart with it. But it definitely falls behind precision frames. Precision frames are very similar, like, damage. This just deals higher damage headshots. Like 158, a precision deals like 134. But this barely deals more damage than a precision frame, which leads me to believe that it is still exactly the same as a lightweight bow in terms of the code. Like, this still has the damage profile of a lightweight bow, but they just upped the damage a little bit. You cannot really feel when you've drawn the bow enough to deal full damage. That's just any lightweight bow. They feel the same. If you're able or like willing to get over that, then that's good for you. But I wish Bungie would stop copy-pasting bow models and codes just to make the same mistakes when they add a new weapon. Like, they just copy-paste the same issues from one weapon to another. I've been wanting to like make a video about this a long time ago, but I've been waiting to like have extensive testing to like prove this a little further. So far, the only proof I ever had was that the aim assist on lightweight bows pulls harder than they do on precisions because the projectile has velocity. So because the projectile is slower, aim assist has more effect on it. It pulls the projectile harder than it would on a precision frame bow. So if you're trying to aim at someone and they're next to a wall, it's not gonna hit them, it's gonna hit the wall. Because it's trying to pull towards them, the center mass of the player. And instead of hitting the player in the shoulder, it hits them, well, it tries to hit them through the wall. On lightweight bows, this used to be way more egregious. Like, right now, they're very close to how precision frames behave, but it was way worse than this. Like, in this situation, the arrow would have pulled up way harder than it does now. That's the principle. That's what managed to help us report this to Bungie, and for them to eventually try to fix it later. Lightweight bows still have a hit reg issue, and unless Bungie changes, I don't know, maybe the animation of the bow, of the draw, they will never feel good to use as a dueling weapon. Because this, you can use this bow to quick swap with it, sure, and then you don't really care about the draw animation or how it hits, you just want it to deal as much damage as possible. But some people, like me for example, we like to use bows like to duel, even though it's slow. I like to use like this loadout where I have a high damage bow with a low damage bow, one I can duel with and the other one I can do long range fights with. And I know this is essentially bow swapping, but I do duel with Wishender sometimes. I do. Well, anyway, I'm just making this video to get this out of the way. I just been wanting to talk about this for a very long time. So here it is. If you use this bow in any loadouts or something, like if you use like a different role, I personally would really love to have like an elemental honing role with either this perk or this perk, because I have like a build in mind with Certarachne's Facade. But I would really like to have like either elemental honing or kinetic tremors with this, with like maxed draw time. For example, this would be like a god roll dueling roll. Like, this is the lowest possible draw time you can get. And honestly, I would like to have this. But like for a quick swap build like I'm using right now, the double bow, in order to replace Wishender, I would need something like this. Something like that. Still low draw time. Because like, I don't know if I'm ever going to find myself in this situation where I have no option but to use this to duel with it. I don't have the time to swap to my other bow or something. Or this is going to do the most damage to kill. I'm probably soon going to make a video on this loadout precisely, just to clarify like why I'm using this and how I'm having fun using this. But for the moment, I just wanted to talk about Mercury-A. And the main complaint I have with this and lightweight bows and the fact that this got copied over. So that's all. Thank you for watching.